So women's football has always been this weird mix of flag leagues, some tackle football leagues, and a whole bunch of dads just pissed about it all. But it is officially undeniable that women's football is going to be here to stay. Now, flag football has become increasingly popular with women, and it's going to be in the 2028 Olympics. Alongside that, you can even see with our audience metrics, we went from like 3% women to 8% of our audience is now women in the last couple months. So it is growing quick. Anyways, now that women's football is here, all the brands want to get involved in some way, and it's really confusing for women out there because it's a really mixed bag of what's out there this year. Today's video is for all the women out there playing football. Here's your full buying guide of what you'll need. Now for this video, we're not talking about helmets or shoulder pads or most of that big heavy protective equipment because women are mostly playing flag football right now, and that stuff does not matter male or female. So if you're playing in a tackle league, just pick up what there is. Anyways, let's start with accessories. Now to my knowledge, all like football accessories should be gender neutral. So women, girls, whatever you want to be called, you can wear anything the guys wear. Mouth guards, turf tape, eye black, armband, whatever, it's all there. I'll link a bunch of different options down below. Now, the only one that you might struggle with is going to be things like arm sleeves and leg sleeves. And that's because those accessories normally come in like two sizes. They'll come in like an adult small and adult large. If you're a female, you're probably a little bit smaller in stature than most of the males. So I'd probably recommend picking up these small. And also all those sites always have measurements on them. So you can use that too. Next up is going to be your base layer. So underneath your jersey, you're going to want something compressive, especially for those flag leagues where people are trying to grab. Personally, I have no idea what women should be wearing underneath their football stuff. Like I always wore basic compression shorts underneath my girdle. So I wore compression shorts, girdle, football pants. But I don't know if women need to do something different. But either way, if you go and look at like compressive stuff on like Dick's Sporting Goods, there's tons of options. By the way, if this is all new to you and you're not familiar with any of the terms, if you pick up something and it has heat gear, that means it's actually made for the summer. It's going to be thinner and more breathable, where something called cold gear is made for the winter, is going to be thicker and warmer. Today's video is brought to you by ZoomBang. Now, if you're familiar with our channel, you've already seen ZoomBang on a bunch of our videos and some of the guys we featured, like Lamar Jackson, the two-time MVP. Now, aside from the Ravens, ZoomBang is used by a ton of guys across the league, including Jason Kelsey and Najee Harris. It's essentially state-of-the-art compression gear like girdles and compression shirts that you wear underneath your pads. This added protection allows players to be fearless out on that battlefield. ZoomBang's viscoelastic polymer is soft to the touch and conforms to the exact shape of whatever it's supporting at rest. Upon impact, ZoomBang's molecules stiffen up and lock together to disperse the energy and provide maximum protection. After impact, ZoomBang transforms back to its original cushioning, supportive state. Independent testing has shown that these poly shields dissipate 90% of impact, reducing blunt force that's transferred to the body, which their competitor can only say they do 40% of. With hundreds of collisions in a single game and thousands during the course of a season, there are no shortcuts when it comes to safety. If some of the best football players in the world choose to wear ZoomBang, why shouldn't you? If you want to learn more about ZoomBang, you can check out our full video on them or just check them out in the description down below. Again, thanks ZoomBang, back to the video. Next up is going to be your semi-protective equipment. Now, if you're going with any semi-protective gear for flag football, the first thing will be stuff you can wear on your head. So they have stuff like Unequal Tech, Zenith, Guardian caps, all the soft shell options, all those exist to give you a little bit of protection on your head without wearing a helmet. Now, if you're looking at wanting a little bit of padding on your body in case you run into someone, we have one of our sponsors, ZoomBang, who has stuff like these shirts that you can pick up, and these have pads on the shoulders, pads around here in case you're worried about your midsection. They also make girdles with tail pads, just thigh pads, all that kind of stuff too. And we'll have a video coming out on ZoomBang pretty soon. All right, next up is going to be gloves. Now, I'm going to go from like the most progressive company to the least progressive company right now as far as the glove scene for women. Number one is going to be Massov. Massov is the only glove right now made specifically in women's sizes. Now, what most companies are doing right now, they're taking a male glove and they're basically just taking like a male small and then rebadging it as a women's large. But a women's hand is a lot different shape than a man's hand. Massov is the only company with a women's hand template that they're using to make the gloves. So they actually have separate gloves of the same styles for women and men. Nike does have the dedicated women's VaporJet 8.0, their newest style, and in women exclusive colorways. The sizing is going to be the same thing though. If you're picking up a women's large here, chances are it's just a rebadge men's small in like a different colorway. Now, Under Armour is going to be in the same boat as Nike, except Nike's is already out and Under Armour's is supposed to come out this year. Now, in their catalog, they had a women's specific pair of the F9 Nitros, but I can't really find them online right now. Adidas doesn't have any women's gloves, but I'll explain that in a bit. Now, if you want to pick up any other brand, Battle, Phenom, Nextrend, all you're gonna have to do is figure out your sizing, and it's male only. So same thing. If you want to wear a large in women's, probably just grab a men's small, maybe medium. I'm actually not too sure. Last up is going to be Cleats, and that's a little bit of a different story. Now, Under Armour is releasing the Spotlight MC in women's specific sizes, but I think it's going to be the same thing they're doing with their cleats as they're doing with their gloves. It's not going to be specific cleat patterns made for women's feet versus men's feet. It's just a rebadge size in specific colorways. Now, Adidas is going down the exact same path, except they don't try and like hide it like the other brands do. So if you look at the sizing here, it actually shows like a male 7 is a women's 8.5, and they have them within the same sizing block so you can understand what they're doing. It's nice that they're being being transparent with that kind of stuff. And I think they'll do the exact same thing for their gloves, but their electric gloves for this year just haven't come out yet. Now, Nike is the last cleat option, and we don't personally know what's happening with Nike cleats. Nike gloves and Nike cleats operate as two completely separate companies. So just because gloves is doing their thing with women's does not mean cleats is going to be doing their thing with women's. And we also don't have a good idea what Nike cleats are coming out this year, but we already know what Nike gloves are coming out from this year. So we're not really sure what's going on with Nike cleats. Now, if you still want to wear a pair of Nike cleats versus Adidas cleats, I'd honestly use the Adidas cleats as your reference. Look at their sizing chart to see what you'd be wearing and then convert that over to Nike. So yeah, that's it. Again, women out there, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, leave a comment down below. Let's grow that side of our audience. Links to everything. That's it. Peace.